Alrighty, go time. Go time, go time, go time. Are we connected? Could you guys let me know? Are we connected on YouTube? Yep, we good to go. Okay, perfecto. Real quick, let me go through what I'm looking at across all the different pairs. Then we're going to stick to NASDAQ specifically and trade this market open. So first things first on NASDAQ, let's go ahead and look at the higher time frames. And I got some mess here. All right, one sec. Alrighty, let's take a look at where NASDAQ is on the higher time frames. Write this in your notes. If you're ever lost, if you're ever stuck, you don't know what to do, look left. It's the single most important thing that you guys are going to learn at ChartAddicts. Just fucking look left. The markets are creatures of habit. Market makers are creatures of habit. If something's been done at a zone over and over and over, chances are that's the new normal. So we have this zone as a selling zone, but if price is using it as support, it turns into a buy level. If price is below it, uses that as resistance, it's a sell zone. If price is above it, you might see it as a buy level. So my thing is if we close back above that blue zone, we're going to be going long the market. If price fails to close above that blue zone and continues to reject, then I could see a move to the downside. That's kind of what we're looking for at the market open. If we get a giant spike up, but the body closes under that resistance and it can't break above, we're going to be shorting it. Because if you look left, every time the market is below it and it can't break above, it ends up shorting after. So that's kind of what we're looking for. On the smaller time frames, we have something a little bit more specific. We have this trend line here. We have these Fibonacci retracement levels here and a previous area of liquidity. Sell zone became a buy zone. And so if the market does sell off from here, we can catch it at one of these Fibonacci levels and take the market up. If you guys were on my call yesterday, you guys know that I started a $4,000 account. We traded live yesterday. I took some minor losses. I ended up making it back yesterday off of this trade. So I took this trade last night. Basically, I measured the Fibonacci from the bottom to the top of this most recent trend. I found these retracement levels. I entered a buy position last night on the second touch. That second touch, not the first one, the second touch of those Fibonacci zones that confirmed the long. And I took profits at 15,900 key psych level. Very simple trade. TP hit overnight. And I'm basically just looking for that same trade this morning. So if we get a fake outside this trend line back to the London session lows, then that's where I'm going to be taking my buy positions. So on NASDAQ, this is basically about as complicated as it gets. Buy low, sell high. We're in this range. And so I'm not going to be looking to buy this breakout. Instead, I'd wait for a retracement back down so we can catch a continuation. We'll do gold. Gold didn't hit my 1830 target, which was kind of like the higher time frame target. Nice triple top is what I was expecting. But price is still forming higher lows. Okay, so as long as it continues to form higher lows, I think that we can continue to push up at least one more time. So maybe something like this. And I'm going to go down to the 1 hour here for, oh, this is GJ. Here we go. I'm going to go down to the 1 hour. Break and retest of the most recent impulsive push. Double bottom at the 61.8. Target 1831, that extension. I would put it at 1830 flat if you guys actually want to get your TP hit. So that would be it. As long as price holds that support, it's a pretty good long position back up to this this daily range. GJ, I'm still short on. We have a beautiful double top here. This thing is, in my opinion, is loading up for shorts. It's a beautiful double top rejection off of this daily zone. So if this thing holds, and to be honest, I don't even think it needs to hold. This is a pretty good, I don't know, it's looking pretty good to me. The only thing that's stopping me from taking the short position immediately is the fact that we're still creating higher lows. So the trend is bullish, the momentum is bullish, and we're still creating structure that's bullish. So higher highs, higher lows. That's the only reason I haven't entered short positions just yet. What you guys can do is put a sell limit up here at 157.5. So regardless of what happens, this would still be the best entry if there is a short position. So if you guys want to take shorts on GJ, the only place that I would personally look to enter is 157.5. Manual entries, they're not looking too good right now because the risk is too high, right? If you put your entry here, your stop loss would still have to be above the daily zone. Now you're looking at an 80 to 120 pip stop loss. So that's not really that attractive. If you put your sell limit at 157.5, at least your risk is a lot more manageable. All right, if you guys are just hopping on real quick, I'm going through all the different pairs just to show you guys the levels. Then we're going to get on NASDAQ 100 and look to trade the market open together. Oh, I really got to start cleaning up my charts after these calls. This looks like a bloodbath. My hair pointing at a whole bunch of stuff. Look at that level. Look at this level. You guys see this zone up here? Let me clear this up real quick just to kind of, whoa. I locked my computer by accident. All right, so what I'm seeing on the higher time frame on US 30 is we're still creating higher highs, higher lows. So the trend is bullish. Look at the trend line. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher high, higher high. And so we're still sort of on this bullish trend. But if we look left, we're at a giant liquidity zone for sellers. Alrighty. So here's the thing about this liquidity zone is we're gonna get multiple chances to enter. And so that was an emergency. Boy, these people know I'm on a stream, bro. Don't call me unless it's an emergency, people. This is important. We got this giant liquidity zone here. But what you guys notice is if there's a giant liquidity push off of that level, you get a retest off of this secondary zone. So we have two sell zones. So if the market does sell off from here, what we can do is we can look for a retracement of that second liquidity zone and take this thing down, and then we could buy it back up. I just trade ranges. So if you guys look at this range, all the buying levels are down here. Huge liquidity buying zone, huge buying zone, huge buying zone. And so this is still my base case if the market makes it back down here. The higher the market gets, especially in this kind of environment with a lot of uncertainty, a lot of people are bearish stocks. When I say people, I mean financial institutions. They're bearish stocks because of all the interest rate changes this year from the Federal Reserve. So that's why I am bearish on stocks, and that's why I keep kind of like in my head, I keep myself aware of the fact that stocks are still bearish in fundamental terms. So if we get up here and we can't break, we see a giant spike, but the body of the candle closes below the daily resistance, I'm going to be looking to short U30. If we break above this zone and start to form new floors, like a higher low, then you guys know what the drill is. We're going to continue bullish. But for now, this 35 or 36,500 level, this to me is a sell zone, and that's what I would be looking for. Some kind of completion of this head and shoulders here, maybe a retest, a spike up, and then a push back down. That's my base case for US 30. Euro USD finally broke out of this consolidation. Where are we headed to? 157 or this 116 key level. When we talked about this on the first Sunday market outlook of the year, I said that Euro USD was going to go bullish for a little bit, at least break out of this range. My buy limit was sitting down here. I was kind of expecting a double bottom off the daily zone so we can get a good risk and reward trade. That never happened. Price just ended up breaking to the upside. If you guys did want to take this position, you would look at the previous highs of this consolidation. Let me go to the 4-hour. Previous highs of this consolidation. previous highs of the consolidation here, 1.37, and that would be a pretty good entry for longs. You guys know me, I'm not a breakout trader, but if you guys did want to catch these long positions, a retracement would be a pretty good idea. At this point, I'm waiting for it to get to these daily zones, and then I'm looking to short from up here. So that's my base case. I don't want to chase this because the market's already kind of run away bullish. So I'll just wait for either a retracement or I'll just wait to short it down. Bitcoin, Stefano, great call on that 40K key level that held support. This thing is pushing back up to 45.7 or 50K. Either of those two zones and we can start shorting again. 45,700 and 50K. And last but not least, we have SPX 500. So before I was the NASDAQ king, I was the SPX king. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to trade this market open. So the easiest thing to do on all the indices is there's a consolidation that happens every single day before the session opens. It's usually in the London session overlap to New York. This is very, very dry zone. So what you do is you can take the consolidation or the highs and lows of the previous session. So this is the London session high. This was yesterday. This is today. So these are the London session lows. And I basically just look for a retest of the London session lows. This is because we're going bullish. So if we're going bullish, we're looking to buy at support. We look at the support that was formed during London session. The market's going to fake in one direction at the open, fake another direction at the open. And if it holds support at 47.15, this is where we take a buy. A lot of folks want to chase the market up. We don't like to chase because what happens is you get caught in the retracement if you try to enter too soon. Big example that we learned yesterday. We entered a little bit too soon. Price came down and gave us a good entry. But because of how aggressively it moved, I didn't make the right decisions in terms of opening those trades. Today, it's going to be pretty simple. Look at those lows. If you're trading SPX, it's 47.15. Look for that retest. And if it holds this support, look to take this thing long. All right, so that's pretty straightforward on those on all those pairs. I'm going to go back and focus on NASDAQ, and let's go ahead and trade this market open. So far, so good. Anybody, any questions on pairs? Are we good to go? Buy low, sell high. We got it. It's not rocket science. Is it, Roy, what's your secret strategy? What's your secret strategy? It's a whole bunch of patience. You got to wait for these moves to really hit your zone. If they don't hit your zone, don't just jump in and be like, well, I didn't get the entry I wanted. Let me just jump in the next random trade I see. We ain't doing that. What we're doing is we're going to be patient. And if it doesn't come to our first entry, we reset and we try to find what is the next opportunity. So I'll give you guys an example on NASDAQ. If it doesn't come back and give us this second entry, but instead flips bullish, then what do we do? Somebody tell me in the chat what I would do if the market breaks to the upside, it never came back to my entry. What am I supposed to do here? Do I just jump in the trade? Do I stay out completely? What do you guys recommend just based on what you've seen me do and based on what you guys know about trading? Said wait for a retest, wait for a retest, wait for it to come back to support. We had negative news today. How is it going to affect the market open? We'll see. We'll see once the market opens. Wait for a touch on the next key level. You're all correct. Wait for a retracement, wait for retest or a double bottom. Kiss it goodbye until it comes back for a break and retest. There we go. He said shut down the PC and wait for another day. And this is why you're winning. And this is why your growth curve is looking the way it is, bro. I'm proud of you, fam. For real, I've been seeing you crush SPX. No retest, no entry. All right, y'all speaking my language today. So if this thing is a runaway train, if it ends up just breaking to the upside, what we can do is either wait for a fat wick down and wait for the body to close back above this area If it closes back above that area, on the closure, I enter a piece of my position. On the next retest, I enter the second half of my position. Alrighty? My base case, and me and Stefano were talking about this before the stream, is a potential spike down to these key levels, break the London session lows, and then a continuation to the upside. So let's see how this plays out. Okay, market's opening right now. Let me go check YouTube real quick, see what these folks talking about. Seeing the inverse head and shoulders for a buy. I have this exact setup. Hi, Roy, live on YouTube. Good to see you, Steve. No retest, no trade. Wait for a retracement. Okay, all right. Okay. Folks got their head on straight this morning. That's what I love to see. We got about 64 people on this Zoom call. Great to see you guys. Alrighty, so the market is opening now. We're going to get that push to the downside. As soon as it hits these levels, folks, get ready to go long. Get ready to go long. If it breaks through this zone, we can catch a buy at an even lower level.
Bro, BTC is flying. So I just noticed because you mentioned it. And then bro, I'm 4K in profit, bro. Like, it's crazy, dude.
Oh my God, let's go.
Come on now.
If you want to see something, obvious, look at this, Stefano. If you want to know where all the money from BTC is coming from,
dude, the dollar, look at the dollar is dropping crazy, bro.
People are dumping the dollar at 7% inflation, and they're buying the only inflation insurance they can find, which is going to be gold and BTC. So you can see gold, BTC are going to be pumping. Gold already had a nice massive pump. BTC is next, and the dollar is just dropping out the sky.
It's crazy. So with the dollar dropping, you think that, we'll get the indices, kind of recovering the whole right down? Or
I think this year, bro, we have a completely different correlation between the dollar and the indices. Because before it was just like, okay, they printed money, stocks went up. They printed money, stocks went up. And that was the relationship. Now it's really like people are dumping dollars and they're trying to put it in places where they think it's safe. And stocks might not be the place. They're obviously choosing Bitcoin and gold right now. Right. So let's see if stocks are on that list. We'll know by the end of January if the institutions are looking at the stock market as a safe haven or if they're looking at it as a gamble. Because those are the two kinds of investments that they make, safe or gamble. Bitcoin and gold, they used to be gambles, but now they've completely switched to become safe havens. Isn't that crazy? Who knew that Bitcoin would be the safest place to park your money? As opposed to the US dollar. It's insane. 4 or 5 years ago, Bitcoin was the highest speculative, high risk asset that you can find.
Bro, even my parents want to buy Bitcoin now.
That's when you know.
You're a little too late for a party. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, man, ain't nobody too late.
I know.
If you guys think this is too late, a lot of the folks that think it's too late, they're going to be buying Bitcoin at 150K.
Yeah.
So it's like, it might seem late, but you're going to end up FOMOing in at some point at like 200 or 250K. You might as well get in now.
Mm-hmm. I think the 40K level is super strong. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that shit breaks down, I don't know what's going to happen to Bitcoin, but like, that's a good dip, So that will do the backs.
Yeah. I like the biggest buyers of Bitcoin today are not people, right? They're institutions like Grayscale and JP Morgan and central banks. So if it hits a discount, bro, they don't care about, 40K versus 41K. They buying this shit regardless.
Yeah, for sure.
Big whales in BTC.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, I got an issue with Wells. I got an issue. Their customer service is so tragic. I'm gonna give them one more week, and then I'm going on an anti-Wells Fargo campaign. I'm gonna be like, if you guys have a business account with Wells Fargo, drop that shit. We're going to Chase. We're banking with Chase now.
$1 billion players.
Yeah, man, they are the big players though.
They are. I mean, they're the third largest player in the commercial banking system in America, at least. Goes JP Morgan number one. Well, JP Morgan and Bank of America are tied for 1 and 2, and then Wells Fargo, and then Citigroup, and then right after that is like BB&T and SunTrust. They're merging to compete for 7th place. So like that's the craziest thing ever. Those two banks have to merge to even be in the conversation, and even still they're number 7. These banks got big money, guys. These banks got big money, and they're the ones moving these markets. Now, another big thing to keep in mind is today was a huge news day. We got some negative news at the market open for production inflation, which is how much are the people that produce the stuff that we use, how much are they paying for their goods and services? Is it more or less? If they're paying more, then in a couple months, the price of our goods is going to go up. So it's a leading indicator of economic health. At 10 a.m., we have a Federal Reserve chair member speaking. I don't really remember what they're speaking about, but it can't be good because ain't nothing good happening right now in the money markets. Here we go. FOMC member Brainerd is speaking. They're going to be testifying before the Senate Banking Committee. So same thing as yesterday. Jerome Powell testified yesterday. Today it's Brainerd. The only difference between yesterday and today is that Jerome Powell knows how to not spook the markets. That's why you see a whole bunch of this wonkiness, because the markets are like, they want him to say something that they can kind of hang on and trade, but they can't because he's too media trained. Brainerd is about to say some shit to get everybody in trouble. So just letting you guys know, I think today is going to be a bigger market mover than yesterday was.
Yo, did you see a double top on US 30, 1 hour?
Yes, sir.
That thing looking to drop, and this NAS is right there. It's rejecting the 78.6. So their short's looking right though.
Yeah, if you look right here, you see how if it's below the blue zone, it's a shorting level.
Yeah.
But then we have another liquidity zone down here.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I texted you shorts this morning.
Yeah.
But because the momentum and the trend is still bullish, I'd rather skip out on the shorts, let it dip down a little bit lower, and catch the longs instead.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, this might be the long right here. It's retesting the London session consolidation. And if it holds the support, like it's going to wick down, wick down, wick down. If it holds support and wicks back up, I'm going to enter my buy positions.
Is this 30 minutes? Okay.
Yep. Oh, damn. Bro, I gotta pee so bad. Guys, I'm going to be back in. Actually, no, this is the market open. It's the worst timing, bro. This is where you go to the bathroom for a second and come back and the market's already moved.
Dude, that's just rejecting nicely.
Yep. I'm giving it a second because the retest of the consolidation, this is usually a great entry. But I just want to see if, I just want to see the market open and really gauge to see if it's going to hold that support or if it's just a minor wick. Sheesh, that might have been the entry right here. Yep. Pre-session consolidation, break and retest right here. But it's sitting at that resistance zone. I'm not going to buy it at the resistance zone. I'll see if it comes back for a second touch or if we get a break and retest. That's that patience. And just a quick reminder, everybody, if you haven't already grabbed your tickets to the FX Summit 2022 conference in Miami, Florida, make sure to do that. All of your favorite traders are going to be there. We're going to be doing seminars about trading, investing, and cryptocurrency. If you guys are interested in any of these things and you want to just come and see this in person, as opposed to always interacting online, May 13th through the 15th, 2022 in Miami, Florida. Yeah, don't miss out. I guarantee you guys, if you show up, it's going to be a life-changing experience. I don't really want to hype things up. You guys know we like to under-promise, over-deliver around here, but I guarantee you it's going to be the event of a lifetime. That was my shameless plug for the FX Summit. 975. If it holds above this 975, it's looking good for longs. So it has to hold above 975 and then maybe come back down and retest it. That would be my ideal scenario for the longs right now.
And pushing.
Yeah. It's all good. What I say at the very beginning, if this thing flies up, we're going to chase it, or do we already have a plan of action? We already have that plan of action. That plan of action is just wait for the retracement. So let this thing push up, confirm bullish, close bullish, and then on the retracement, we can get a good entry. Because if we try to chase it, this is how you get caught in these things. You know what I'm saying? Just giant wicks to both directions.
So I usually see the wait for the candle closure, you know what I'm saying? Because
I mean, there's no rush. If you guys just look at like every day, what happens, if you miss the longs, you can get the shorts. And if you miss the shorts, then just look for a structural level and then catch the longs again. And if you miss those longs, then look for a structural zone and catch the shorts back down. There's so many opportunities in this market, it's kind of ridiculous. All right, so what I'm going to do is if this candlestick closes above my buy zone, I'm going to enter a very small position, and I'm going to enter the rest of the position on a retest. So I'll let you guys know very clearly when I enter this trade. If you guys want to enter this trade at your own discretion, a lot of y'all already know what to do. He said that gold 1 hour looking good. He said, are you still holding that piss? Yes, bruh. Do you guys know how it feels to have to use the restroom this badly at the market open on a live stream with 400 people on YouTube? I'm getting my money's worth today. Oh, man. If you guys want to write down something in your journals, go ahead and put patience. Oh, my God. Patience pays. All right, let's imagine that we all just sat here and stared at these charts for an hour and a half and didn't take a single trade. It would still be better than rushing into a trade. Because then eventually later in the session around 11 a.m., we get a retracement back to one of our key levels, and then we get that good trade. The biggest trade that I've had this week, you guys know, I lost almost, and this is, I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys. I lost almost 15% of my account live trading yesterday with the team. This is a like a small torch challenge I'm doing for myself. But then last night, one good trade made it all back. So first things first, that's the account. You guys know we're using Hugo's Way. Not that I really recommend them, but I've been using them for so long that at this point, as long as they pay out, I'm going to continue to have some faith in them. And then just to show you guys last night, one trade hit TP overnight, and it made up for the losses yesterday. So when you're trading in a session and you take some losses and you're a little bit discouraged, the most important thing that you do is don't let it get the best of you. And instead, walk away, reset yourself, because when you do find the next opportunity, it's going to make up for the losses that you had. Alrighty, so that's the most important thing I've learned about trading is that you're going to have losses. Things happen. How you deal with the losses, how you get yourself back in the right mindset is what makes you a good trader. It's not about having losses versus not having losses. It's how you handle it that determines how good of a trader you're going to be. It's like a quarterback, right? The best quarterbacks are not the people that just never throw a pick. You're going to throw an interception at some point. How do you mentally get back in the game so you can throw a touchdown? That's what makes a great quarterback. That's what I want you guys to be thinking about. If I'll be honest, I kind of want to enter. It's holding this support. It's holding this support. I'm going to give it a chance. But I do want to enter some long positions now. It's what the patience is for, though. It's what the patience is for. So this is very customary that we see at the market open a whipsaw to the downside and a whipsaw to the upside. This is usually to convince sellers to start shorting, to convince buyers to start buying. And you see that equal wick to both sides. So what I want to do now is I want to look for a retest back down to these lows, or maybe it makes it all the way down to these retracement levels, anywhere between the 850 and 870 zone. That would be my preferred case for this trade. But if we're just judging based on local structure, I can draw a fib from the London session low to this New York session open and find a retracement level, maybe at this trend line to look for an entry. So here's what I'm gonna do. Take out my handy dandy fib tool, measure it from the low to the high. What's crazy is it looks like we've already had like a 50% correction, but it hasn't really hit any of these other levels yet. So maybe one more retest comes back down, and then we can take it from maybe 915 to 920, that area. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run to the restroom. I'll see you guys in 2 minutes. If you guys see it come back down and respect any of these fib levels down here, this 920 to 925 zone, go ahead and start putting in long positions, or just put in a long position. And then if it retraces lower down to like 850, this would be a very valid buy zone as well. Alrighty, Stefano, take the wheel real quick, bro. I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
All right, let's get it. I wish you could.
All about to sink.
What you thinking about gold, Joe?
That thing about to sink right now. It is sinking.
I'm telling you. So that's exactly what I'm waiting for. Like 1815, I think is a good area.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's only about 30 pips away right now.
It's coming. Sinking, bro. So you holding that short still?
Yeah, I got a runner.
Me too. So we go here. 1815 is what I'm thinking, or even 1816.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing that whole support zone, to be honest.
That whole support area. They will get a wick down there. There's a nice liquidity grab. So this is what we're seeing right now. I mean, I wish I could share my screen, but yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Roy, where are you? The buys, bro. Look at the buys are going, bro.
I'm back. All right, guys. I'm entering a small position. I'm gonna enter the rest of my position on the retest. I'm in NASDAQ buys at 980.
I'm in at 950.
Right. I did not put my whole position. I put a small position in. It's gonna push up bullish, and then on the retest, I'm gonna enter the rest of my position because we're still buying the breakout at daily resistance. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to put the heaviest position up here. We'd be buying tops. We don't buy tops at ChartAddicts. We buy dips.
That's true.
And I love momentum trading, but momentum trading is how most people get trapped. How most people get trapped on the indices. It'll be like, oh, look at me. I'm going bullish. Everybody jump in. There we go. We're going back bearish.
Smoked.
These are the games they play.
Unless you're a massive scalper, like you can just go in and out. I've seen people doing that shit. You know?
Scale down to the 1 minute and scalp it.
I mean, yeah, hey, don't tempt me. I go back to my old ways. I'll take the cobwebs off and get on my big scalper boy. Matter of fact, let's have some fun. Let's get down to the 5 minute.
The percentage of beats is definitely lower than it was last year. Look at them wicks.
The closing in blues is what matters. Doesn't matter how. That's true. I mean, hey, can't argue with that.
Closing blues is the name of the game, baby.
We almost hit the 78 on gold.
Almost there. I'm watching it. Back to blues.
All right. Here we go. A little bit of patience here, a little bit of patience. That's all it takes. That's what I'm seeing on GJ now. Push back up to 158. Still forming higher time frame support. NASDAQ, we just got to be patient with. It's going to take a while to like finally push. And there's some news right now. There's some news coming up in 9 minutes. If you guys aren't comfortable holding through news, go ahead and make sure that you guys are using make sure that you guys are using proper risk management so that even if anything does happen in the news, there's a spike or whatever, the loss to your account is not going to like, devastate your account. The second piece is if you're not comfortable emotionally holding through news events, then this is going to be your opportunity to close at break even and to basically watch this trade instead. So keep in mind, y'all, if you're not comfortable with trading news, don't try to force it because it's going to be an emotional roller coaster if you're not prepared for it. We're expecting the news. It's coming up in 9 minutes. Whenever a Federal Reserve chairman speaks, here's the trick. Whenever a Federal Reserve chairman or a Federal Reserve chair member is going to speak, they pump the markets a little bit before they step on stage. Because imagine you're on CNBC and they have the Federal Reserve person's face, and then next to it is all reds. S&P 500 red, NASDAQ red, Dow Jones red. I don't really like that. So right before they step on, they pump the markets a little bit, make them look good. That's just what I found. It's a slight little pattern that I've been finding every time a federal chairperson speaks. So let's see if we at least get a push to the upside. We close in blues, and everybody goes on with their day. If you guys are on YouTube or you guys are watching this stream and you have an Instagram, go ahead and shout out ChartAddicts. Go ahead and shout out ChartAddicts on Instagram. We'll repost everybody that tags us, and just let folks know that we out here on these streams. Let these folks know we out here getting productive in the morning. You get through these comments. What do you see on that? I'm holding drawdown. Hey, me and you both, man. Just read this thing on the top left of the screen.
We all holding that DD, bro.
See that gold 1 hour looks good? Yeah, most likely. retest complete or no? Well, we're still sitting below. We're still sitting below this daily resistance. So for me, it's not like we still haven't confirmed that the direction of the trend is going our way. As soon as we break these highs, that's when we know that the market has chose bullish. And then you can look for a retest of these highs. That would be a proper retest. Anything that happens below a daily resistance, it's not really valid for longs. So it's like, it can continue to retest here, which is good. We don't really confirm the trade until we break above the structure. That shows us, okay, buyers have control. Then the next retest, it closes above structure. We know that buyers have kept control. Major key. But this is also another reminder. Like I said, if you guys are not comfortable holding through news, when it comes back up to your entry and you're at break even, it's an opportunity for you to, step back on the sideline and then to watch this trade. If you guys are more experienced, if you guys are using proper risk, it shouldn't be any problem, but just to have a little bit more patience. Probably in the next 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to have an answer. It's either going to push through and we have a confirmation of the direction, or whatever the person says on the news, whatever the Federal Reserve Chair says on the news, if that ends up being negative, we're going to have our answer pretty soon here. So that's what we're waiting for. A little bit of patience, and then we're going to get an answer from the market. All right. Come on, baby. I'm going to give it some encouragement here. I'm going to give it some words of encouragement. You got this, Naz. You can do it. You can break through that level. I think I can. I think I can. Okay, we're finally back in blues.
Let's go.
I made a promise that I was going to close in blues today. So I'm going to take some partials off and then just hold these runners. Oh, jeez. Yo, who else goes to the gym in the morning? I actually have a question for you guys. Do you guys feel like it gives you more energy when you wake up in the morning, kind of get the blood pumping, or do you feel like it kind of depletes you and you end up getting more tired after you work out? Trying to get this real-time feedback. It says use the magnet, Roy. The magnet doesn't come out. The magnet doesn't come out until I feel it. Right? Once I feel it in my fingertips that this trend is going in our direction, the magnet's there. He said it depends on the intensity. I guess that's a really good point. It says more energy, more energy, more energy, more energy. I wake up at 4 a.m. every day and go to the gym at 6. But what are you, a fucking bionicle? God, it's at 4 a.m. The fucking David Goggins on this call.
He can join my Zoom. He can join my Zoom calls, bro.
Yeah, but you might as well throw on those headphones and get your gold trades in the morning. You
Yeah.
might as well get up and get your 100 pips for the week. He said work out with a shake and a cup of tea after. Damn, y'all have a whole fucking system. More energy, use pre-workout, and drink water. I mean, yeah, that pre-workout will get you up. That pre-workout will wake you up no matter what you do in the morning.
Yeah.
That I enjoy night workouts. Said I went to the bathroom for a minute and now you're in a Nash trade already. Well, I entered the Nash trade off of this candlestick here. This middle candlestick. And yeah, I mean, the market's retracing now. It could retrace a little bit deeper, but I'm holding this trade. I'm having that patience. I'm very aware of where we are in the market. I am aware that this is a higher time frame ceiling. I'm not, I haven't forgotten that fact. But because the momentum is still bullish, I'm still looking for buys here. So as long as we're holding this support, as long as we continue to retest these highs, or even as low as like the 71 or 78, the trade idea is still valid for longs. So I'm not going to close out just yet. I'm going to allow the market to really play out. So I nap midday too. I don't know if I can do naps. I think naps end up making me more tired because then I just wake up confused. I'm like, oh, what time is it? Is it the morning? Is it afternoon? I'm in drawdown with y'all. I'm in drawdown. I get it. I'm reading these private messages. I got y'all. Have some patience. Read the top left of the screen. There we go. So now we have a beautiful break and retest, 61.8, and third touch on the trend line. So this would be a pretty good re-entry, personally. What I'll do is I'll stack one position, small position. Alrighty? Because this is a higher probability trade than my first entry. If I'm confident in the direction, then why wouldn't I take this trade? Because it's giving me a better opportunity to enter. So I'm just going based on confirmations if we can list them. The first confirmation is that the trend is bullish. The second confirmation is that we are rejecting the trend line that we've been respecting this whole week. That's the trend line. I put a T right here. The third one is we're at the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement right there. And the fourth one is that we're retesting the London session highs. So pretty good reasons to take this long position. And let's see if we get a push up.
Gold are buying zone right now. But I'm not taking it yet, though.
I was going to say, just say the word.
Not taking it yet. Not yet.
Oh, it hit that zone.
Yeah, it's at that zone. I'm just waiting for confirmations. Yes, it's gonna dip down one more time, I believe. So I'm just, patience is the name of the game.
Yes, sir. Because the worst thing is closing a trade too early and then having it go your way. You know what I'm saying? Because what it shows is that you just didn't have the patience to at least let the trade play out. And so I think what's really important, especially since we're doing this live on a call together, is to just understand what patience really looks like. It's not about being right all the time. It's about giving the market a chance to play in your direction. So if you have the confirmations, if you've stacked confirmations on top of each other and you have a pretty good reason for entering the trade, remind yourself of that reason until the market violates. All right. If the market breaks this trend line and starts to close under, I'll close my positions and re-enter down here, because then the market would have proven me wrong. That's really what I'm looking for. The only person that I'm going to allow to convince me out of my trades is the market. Let the market prove you wrong. I said, bro, I've been doing that a lot. Yeah, it's key. Key. Major key. Sheesh.
It's a good spike.
It is. One more test would be good. One more test.
So if, let's say, the 15-minute closes like above that area, then we're good for the buys.
So you'd put like a buy limit at the fib right here?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So you know me, I like to wait for the 78.6 to hit. So a little bit more patient, that's all.
For sure. So far we're forming this double top. It is 10:05, so I think the news is dropping right now. Let's see if I can watch this live. Because I feel like they try to hide this stuff. But the only place you can find some of this stuff is like freaking C-SPAN. Oh, Brandon. Brandon just dropped the link. My guy. Lael, Brandon live. Stock market live. Okay. Shout out to y'all. Oh, this is just a random stream. Oh, they got this joint down here. It's because they got Bloomberg. That's what I gotta get back on. I gotta get back on my Bloomberg. Senator Brown doing the opening remarks. So, I mean, news-wise, nothing's happening yet. They're just doing opening remarks, which is basically like, hey, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for being here. All right, it's the moment of truth. It's the moment of truth. Are we going to respect these fibs and bounce, or are we just going to close below and fill? If we close below and fill, I'll be completely honest, guys. I'll close out my trades. If we come through down here and we fill this area, I'm going to close out my trades and just re-enter as it spikes lower. Do I want to hold 2,000 pips and drawdown? Not today. I'm a big close and re-enter kind of guy. For now, just a little bit of patience. See if the market retraces back up, and we'll have our answer.
Do you think that if it goes back up, we should still hold, or we should like just break even? What do you usually do?
If it spikes back up?
Yeah.
So I entered a position here. So if it spikes back up, I'll be in profit on the bottom one, and then I'll break even on the top one.
Okay.
So I'll close this one with no losses and just hold the better position.
All right. Gold's playing with my feelings, bro. I'm telling you, she gets in my zone. I put in 30 lots on this motherfucker right here.
Bro, just say the word. I'm in there.
It's coming. It's coming.
For those of you guys watching at home, Stefano, one of our head educators and gold trader.
Sir.
Julieta says, ha ha ha, I'm putting 15 lots. All right, well, look, make sure it's proper risk management. All jokes aside, guys, you guys know the energy is right around here, but proper risk is the only thing that matters, right? We're all in this live stream having fun. The only thing that's going to ruin your day is if you over leverage your account, thinking that this is going to be the trade that's going to change your whole life, and you end up losing a trade, and now you're kicking rocks for the day. So instead, just use proper risk. Treat these trades the same. Use your 1 to 2% risk. If you have a loss, okay, it's 1 or 2%. It's not going to kill your account. You can walk away, brush it off, and come back to fight another day. If you guys insist on over leveraging, every trade is going to take on a life or death kind of perspective. And if you're allowing these trades to take on life or death, every time a candlestick is going against you, you're going to feel this like real sense of tension. And every time the market's going your way, you're going to feel a sense of euphoria. And this roller coaster is just not healthy. Don't allow yourself to get emotionally involved in any trade. by making sure that you're properly risked in this market. This thing don't look good. I'm just going to keep it real with you guys.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's too crazy. I closed half of my positions already.
Looks ugly. I'm still holding.
That is your 78.6 right there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like an entry.
That's why I need to be patient. Because imagine I close right now and then 5 minutes later we see the giant spike back up. I at least want to let the market prove me wrong. If it's going to close below the 78, it'll close. Let the market tell me.
Aggressive.
It is aggressive.
Could do that wick fill.
Just look left. Say, where are we in the market right now? Giant liquidity zone here. Turn to a sell zone. And now price is sort of testing that area. If we close back above it, I think we have really good chances for buys. If we close below it, though, not looking good. So back to like a moment of truth. And we're on the 30-minute. So like if you guys look at this timer right here, the candlestick timer, it'll tell you how long the candlestick has to close. So we're not even halfway through that 30-minute session. A lot can happen in 30 minutes, right? This thing could spike back up in the next, 17 or 18 minutes. I'm telling you guys, patience really pays in these markets. So they're still doing opening remarks. It's just a bunch of pre-read stuff. Like I think market participants are smarter than this. Like, okay, I used to work on Capitol Hill. I used to work for a senator, and how they do it is like they don't even write these speeches. It's like somebody in their office is going to write the speech. He's going to get up there and literally regurgitate the speech. You guys can tell, like when they're giving the speeches, they just stare down at the piece of paper. None of these guys know what they mean. None of these guys mean what they say. So I don't really look at like the actual like fundamentals word by word what they say. I just kind of tend to see if the markets are spooked, the market's going to be bearish for the day. If the markets are confident, we tend to see a lot of buying pressure. My stop loss just got hit on my first two entries. The re-entry that I had at the Fibonacci levels is still open, but the entry that I had up here just hit stop loss. Show you guys that.
Proper risk management is key,
Major key. Major key. It's all about risk and reward. All right.
That's
as
one of
long
the
as your
things that-
winners outweigh your as long as your winners are bigger than your losers,
Yes, sir.
it'll make up for itself.
That's why I love this book right here, bro. Fucking key trading the zone, bro.
If you guys haven't read Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, highly recommended.
Get you right, bro. Because you don't have any emotional pain whatsoever when you lose a trade. You know what I'm saying? By using proper risk. So
By using proper risk. Somebody told me once, this was kind of when I was trying to figure out, when I was first leveling up and using a funded account and I was trying to understand lot sizing. He said, if you're uncomfortable in a trade, you're in too big.
mm-hmm.
Very, very simple. If you're ever uncomfortable in a trade, it's because you're in bigger than you're supposed to be. He said, nobody's going to be uncomfortable risking $3 on a trade on a micro. You see what I'm saying? So that's always the reminder. It's like, it's not the trade, it's not the market, it's not the fear of being wrong. 99% of the time is the over leveraging. So major key. So on the higher time frames, this thing is looking bearish now. I'll just be completely real. But until the candlestick closes, we can't say that for sure. That's the selling zone. That's the buying zone. So we have this like nice little range in between here. And then that middle zone right there. So if we look left, this area as resistance usually gives us some trouble. This area as support, usually a pretty good buy zone, sell zone. And if we hold above it, this could be a buy zone. So if you guys want to know what I usually do, like when I'm trading the market opens by myself, basically it's the same thing that we're doing now, except with music. I'm a lot quicker in terms of just like closing and re-entering trades. And yeah, music. That's usually the biggest one. If you guys are trading live in the mornings, just turn on some music, get yourself in a state of flow, and just get adaptable to the market.
Come on, almost there.
Stefano, you still got your eye on gold?
Yeah, right in front of me, bro. It just hit 78.6. So I'm looking 1817, 1816, 75. That thing melting, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I mean, it's the news, man. It's the news. I'll be honest with you, Brainerd getting on TV. If y'all just want to know, no, I'm not even gonna disrespect her like that. But she don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Like 90% of the time, her being on the news is probably not the most bullish thing. The thing is, all of the bad news was already said yesterday. You know, like Powell already got up there and said, "Yeah, my bad for lying in December about the amount of rate hikes. Yes, we're going to do 4 rate hikes instead of 1 this year. Yes, we're going to start tapering by the end of January and not March." He said all that yesterday. Whatever she's going to say today is just basically going to echo whatever he was saying yesterday. So I don't think that we're going to get the big crash. A big crash meaning we break this structural support. I don't think we're going to get that today. If we do, then basically we'll just kind of look at this a little bit different. It'll swipe through. We look left, massive selling zone. We wait for that retracement and then short it down. So either way, we kind of have some opportunities. Now, the market is coming up to my daily support level. This is where I'm actually looking to enter a position because I still have one running from the 61 right here. I do want to enter a position here just to kind of make up for some losses. What I'll do is enter a position down here, let it wick up. When it wicks up, I close this first one and I close this one. I'll make profits on the lower position. I break even on the top one, and hopefully I can make some profits for the day.
That's what we talked about this morning, right? Like when we are talking about this trade. Yeah, exactly what's happening. You know, wick down. This is gonna be a wick. Definitely that right there. Which
Yep.
is 8.6.
Stefano, were
Okay.
you looking to get in a buy
Yeah,
on?
I'm already seeing reactions. I think placing at 1% right now will be a good idea, but
There's a lot of support at 1815, 1815.
yeah. So what I like to see is I want to see that level breaking, and then with a wick and closing above it, and then I'll have my limit set right there. So I'm thinking the level, the exact number is 1816.75. That's my exact number.
All right, nice spike up. So just like we talked about beginning of this session, we took a long position up here. We said that if the market violated this trend line and came back to our Fibonacci zones, this would be a secondary entry. So market's still doing exactly what we were expecting. I did re-enter a position down here at the 71, and I'm trying to make back some of the losses. So what I'm hoping happens here is we get a wick. I can close the entry that I have sitting up here at the trend line, and I can close this position and take profits. So pretty straightforward stuff here. If we can look at gold for just a sec. Yeah, I still don't see any rejections. Candlestick is still looking pretty bearish.
Go to the 5 minutes. Yeah, that's just a second. Do you have your extension, your negative 27 from
from here? You want it from here down or what? Or from here up?
Previous impossible. The same input where you were. Let me see if I can actually annotate. No, the other one. From top to bottom.
Okay.
But not that one. The previous one. The previous one.
This one?
That one.
Okay. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. To the very low or to the recent low?
To the recent low from that impulsive move. So the mid wave, the second wave, just measure the second wave.
Okay. Oh, it's almost there. 1816.6. Now I see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking to right there.
Push to the extension, giant wick up. Yeah, I would set a buy limit, y'all.
Yeah, right there. I mean, technically we could buy right now 1%. I mean,
you see this?
I just took 1% just now on gold.
Alrighty.
And I also took NAS again.
Yep.
Trying to make that money back.
I feel you on that.
I think the trade is gonna work out.
Just read this.
Patience, yeah, that's what you want. All right, so we're in NAS and we're in gold, right?
My entry on NAS is 854. 15,854 for that lower entry. And then 907 for the one I'm in drawdown, which is like up here.
Okay. Negative 27 about to hit. It's almost there.
About 4 or 5. It's about 4 or 5 pips off.
Yeah.
Trade for a couple hours in the morning and then be done for the day. That's the whole goal.
I'm in blues on NAS already.
Yes, sir. I actually just texted you my entry. Says the wicks for me.
It's the wicks
and perfect rejection of the negative 27.
Let's go. We're in. Now we just wait.
It's like watching paint dry. This is literally like watching paint dry. Look, if you guys have the levels that you need for NASDAQ and for gold, put it in the chat. If you guys know the levels that we're watching, put it in the chat. So what we're going to do is we're probably going to wrap up this stream here in about 20 minutes. Just want to make sure that you guys have these levels. You guys know what we're looking for. You understand the entries, re-entries, opportunities, when to look for a reversal of the trend, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Come on now. We both entries are wick, baby. Nas and gold. Shit.
Well, you're already up 30 pips on gold.
Stop playing, bro.
A clean 20 pips off that rejection. That's insane. Yo, are y'all seeing this?
Y'all seeing this? Yo, stop playing. Yo,
Fire,
my score is almost blue on all of them. I have one small entry on gold that's still on red, but that's I think I caught it at 19. I was holding that entry. I love me those gold trades.
All right, I'm posting the open trades I have on my channel on Discord. So ChartAddicts members, if you guys want to come and check out the performance for the day on the 4K account. So I'm doing a challenge, 4K account challenge, in case you guys want to see. Yesterday, I funded the account, 4K. Finished the day up 20-something%. Well, this was actually say it with me, Tuesday. Yesterday, or actually this was the final number, 5,400. This was after yesterday's live trading session. Okay, so not too hot. This was the trade I took last night in my sleep. And then this is the performance of the day. If you guys do the math, this is like 20-something% return. Let me do this math. 1137. It's about 20%. We're doing it big.
I feel like it's a bunch of clowns talking at these meetings, you know, like this.
It is, bro. It is. Like, they could save everybody so much time by saying, we're about to raise interest rates. We're going to go into a recession this year because when we raise rates, that's what's going to happen. It's Congress's job to stop fucking up the pile and stop giving people free checks because that's only going to make the inflation problem worse. And then they could probably save themselves like 4 hours by just doing that. He said, what do you think are going to be the adverse effects of raising rates on the interest on the stock market? Bitch, 2 hours? I could just tell you, market gonna crash. Market gonna crash. Interest rate go up, stock market go down. Interest rate go up, stock market go down. All right, basically you guys just graduated with an economics degree today. Congratulations. Put it up on your wall. If they turn off the faucet for the free money, the whole show stops, right? Everyone's like, why are monkey pictures selling for $1 million? Why is there virtual real estate in the metaverse when there's 12 million open jobs in the economy and a labor shortage? How the fuck does that make sense? Well, it's because there's been so much free money printed in the economy over the past few years that all of that money just circulating around has pumped up the price of all of these speculative assets. Now that they're going to turn that faucet off and the money is going to basically dry up in the economy, everyone's going to become a net saver as opposed to a net spender. And so the prices of all this stuff and the value of the stock market is going to go down. People getting $1,500 stimulus checks was a huge reason why the stock market was pumping, because all the retail investment flow was at record highs, like all-time record highs, not annual high, all-time record high. There was more retail traders that entered the stock market in the past 2 years than at any point in history combined. So it was a lot of free money pumping around the economy. Once they turn that faucet off, if you guys have ever seen Mad Max Fury Road, I'm gonna put you guys on game. Here's forget this, forget the hearing. Here's what we should be watching. Here's the water scene. Oh God. This is freaking hilarious. This is Jerome Powell in The Economy. This is a live view of the Federal Reserve Chairman's job. This is all of us down here. We're the peasants down here waiting. All right, hold on. And this is when they print the money. This is what it looks like live view. And we're just down here just pump my NFT. Please let my crypto go up. All right, so this is a live look because the people who are closest to the funds, that's who gets rich first, right? So the people who own the same assets as the Federal Reserve, they get rich first because when they print the money, the Federal Reserve goes and buys a whole bunch of stuff. The closest to the money eat first, and everybody else is sort of fighting for the scraps. This is a live look at the Federal Reserve right here. And then when they turn off the faucet, that's when the fighting starts. All right. Hopefully that visual made sense. Guys, I am no longer liking the way that this is setting up for NASDAQ. This thing looks like it's going to break through support. So at this point, what I'm going to do is close out my open orders and just basically go kick rocks for the day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go whistle. I'm gonna go walk down the hallway and whistle a sad tune.
Oh.
It's like, no, I'm joking.
You gonna close half of your positions or?
I'm giving it one last chance to spike up. If it doesn't wick back up, this is it, man. Yep, I'm out.
Yeah, man, just push through. I'm holding my goal position.
Well, you're a more confident man than myself because I'm jumping out of NASDAQ. I'm officially out of all of my trades. I did take some losses today in the session. I'm going to post those for members. You guys can see those losses for the session. If you guys want to hold your trade, if you guys took the second entry and want to hold your trade, set your stop losses below this swing low. So set your stops below 780 and you'll be able to hold that trade. If you guys want to re-enter, it's the same prices. So price pumps up and comes back later in the session. We could catch something, or market flops down. We can wait for a retracement tomorrow and then see if we can use it as a shorting zone. But for today, we took a few buying opportunities. We tried to buy it on the break. We tried to buy it on the test of the trend line. And I personally re-entered off of the daily support, 3 different opportunities. Obviously, I don't think the market's going bullish today. I think that all the news that's going around is kind of has the market spooked. So if bears have control, I'm jumping out of the buys. I'm going to stay out for the rest of the day and come back tomorrow at the market open and do the same thing. Well, not, hopefully not the same thing. Hopefully tomorrow's a lot more fruitful, but y'all know the drill. The most important thing is take like 5 to 10 minutes after the session is done. If you guys did take these trades and study a little bit. What I'm going to notice is, obviously in hindsight, everything makes a lot more sense. But in hindsight, this is now that I'm out of my trades, here's what I saw. Buying the daily resistance, probably not the best idea. So the patience really would have been just waiting for those lower entries. Buying in the middle of the range. So here's the low, here's the high. Buying in the middle of the range, also a bit of a gamble, but there was a lot of confirmations there. Third touch on the trend line, 61.8, bullish momentum. So there was at least confirmations there. So I actually don't have any regrets about this trade. And then this lower entry, I was in blues. And so there was a point where I could have closed in all blues. However, I wanted to give the market a chance to play out. Instead, I had to close and break even. Alrighty. So those were the lessons for the day. If you guys trade in the session, win or lose, make sure you go back and review. If you lose a trade and you don't go back to review it, you just missed an opportunity. Now you just lost money and didn't learn anything from it. That's a bad situation. If you lose money, you at least learn something from it. You're going to be a better trader for the next session. All right. If that's cool with everybody, drop something in the YouTube chat. Let me know that you guys still alive.
Oh, and one more thing I want to add on my TPs and stop loss for gold. So gold, my stop loss really below that wick right here, below that previous low. And my first TP, I will be looking to TP. I'm not sure if I can actually annotate here, but you see that previous low to the left, that previous high, that swing high.
This one?
Yeah.
Or this one?
That one. Yeah.
So
that one. So
1821, 1822 area.
That's first TP right there. So
beautiful, 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 beautiful. If you guys took Stefano's gold trade at the -27 extension, bro, this is so sexy.
Yeah,
I learned something new every time I trade with you, Stefano. I love this shit.
If it's not, no, and you know, one more thing, so you can. This is on a hot moment, bro. Measure this push to the upside. You'll see that that -27 lines up with your 78.6 from this push, the previous push. So the whole push from bottom to top. No, bottom to top. That one, yeah, that one to the upside, right? So you'll see that 78.6 lining up with your 27, with your -27. You know, that's sort of right there. So that gives you some added confluence there. So I like that. That I use that as well.
There we go. It's a little bit higher. So
Yeah,
this negative, there's like probably a 10 pip range, but both of those stacking on top of each other is a good call.
Yeah. So, but the -27 is pretty good. So, you know, still, you know, proper risk is always paramount. So
paramount, my guy. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Alrighty, y'all. Those were the two trades: gold, Nasdaq. Any questions? Put them in the chat, or forever hold your peace. In the chat, or forever hold your peace. Dollar is getting ready to turn back around here soon.
yeah, scary.
Yes, sir, I'm gonna swing GU down. I'm swinging GJ too. The dollar take off.
For the shorts?
I got in at 157.4 on GJ.
Oh, you got that wick entry. So bottom to top, what is that? 61, 71?
78.6.
Good catch.
Right before the quarter point. Well, it hit the quarter point and reversed right down. And that
GJ's in love with these QPs.
157.5 was the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
My view, Carl, is that it's hard for me to imagine why they would not move in March. And you know,
the next quarter on the bottom is 155 even. So I'm looking forward to go down there.
Talk about the balance sheet and potentially seeing a runoff there. I'm starting to see the notes circulate now about taper and this idea of maybe tapering the taper much more quickly, potentially
250 pips.
And in January, even ahead of time, given the fact that inflation is running so hot. Is that on the table too?
Well, I think the way I would think about it is
U30 getting ready to crash. That SPX is playing out.
Euro USD is starting to fall out the sky too.
Yeah, the dollar is getting ready to turn around. That's why a lot of the trends that we've been seeing in the week are going to start to reverse. So you see like Bitcoin starting to turn back around.
Unlikely they will do
See
that.
gold's getting ready to turn back around.
Could they taper faster? I think
Dollar is king, man. Dollar is king.
that on the 25th, but it's done. Finally, as we await Q&A here, Dennis, as far as this morning's PPI print, year on year, I'm sorry, sequentially a little bit light. Last night, China.
Yeah. So what's happening in terms of this speech that they're giving, like who's speaking right now? This is one of the Fed chairs. Biggest problem in the economy today is inflation. So anybody that's bought anything in the past 2 years knows that the price of goods and services has gone up. Your haircut, probably more expensive than it was 2 years ago. The grocery store, you walk in with $100, you're probably walking out with half the groceries that you used to be having. You are trying to get a gym membership, those went up. You're trying to get a like a phone plan, those went up. You're trying to get a subscription for one of these major services, those went up. So inflation has become a pretty big problem. For most folks, a couple extra dollars on your Netflix subscription doesn't really matter. But for folks who are living paycheck to paycheck, every dollar counts. And so this inflation is hurting the majority of the population in a way that's not very obvious yet, because it's kind of like a longer term thing. When you're spending more every month, but you're not making any more, people are going to start to feel that eventually. So the biggest question that they're battling with right now is how do we fight this inflation problem? The problem is they created the inflation problem by printing the money. And now they're trying to solve it by turning off the money printer. So it's like somebody was sick or hurt. Let's say the economy is like a patient at a hospital. The economy was hurt. The Federal Reserve got a great idea. They're like, no, we know how to solve this. Let's give him morphine and adrenaline, very strong drugs to kind of artificially put this person back to life. They did that, and it really, really messed up the economy badly. So now what we have to do is reverse the mistakes that we made by turning off the faucets completely, which is going to take the market in a completely different direction and put us in a recession. So if you guys want to know the dynamic of what's happening this year, is the Federal Reserve has no choice but to send us into a recession in order to make sure that we don't have hyperinflation. All right. That is what we're dealing with right now. And there is no right answer. So we're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. All right, y'all. I'm going to come back and check the markets after the hearing, and we'll come back and reassess what's going on here. It looks like the news just kind of has folks spooked a little bit. It's a little bit of uncertainty flowing through the market. I'm going to come back once there's more conviction, and we'll be able to find some opportunities. If you're a ChartAddicts member, keep an eye out for any signals that might come out. If you're not a ChartAddicts member, it's time for you to change your life. Hop on the wave. Great to see everybody this morning. Put something in the chat. At least you guys learned something. If it's not a profitable day, at least we're walking away with some kind of value. So let me know if you guys at least took something away from today, and I'm gonna let you guys go.
Good to see you guys.
The money.
All right, guys.
Good to see you on the stream.
Thank you, guys.
Ozzy Oz, great to see you, my guy. Take it easy. We got Natalie, Cassidy, Adam. Great to see all of you guys. Alexis, Carla, Corbett, Danny, Erwin, or Edwin. My bad, Edwin. I hear your boy slight dyslexic. Frankie. We got Freddie, Josh, Juan, Julieta, Kiara, Marcus, Marlon, Mike, Miker. My guy Miker on this call. Ryan Carson's one of our beginners educators, crushing it. If you guys haven't booked your final exams, make sure to do so. Sam, Taylor, Tommy, Billionaire. Oh, that's Serge. My bad, bro. Serge, good to see you on. And then Nat P. Great to see everybody on. Take it easy, y'all.